Let's talk more about this nomination with Congressman Remulla himself. He joins us now over the phone. Good afternoon, Kong Boying. First of all, you ran unopposed in Cavite in your district and had been re-elected this 2022 elections. What happens now to your seat in Congress if and when you do assume the DOJ secretary post?
Well, there are two modes that happen when there is a vacancy. One is a taker system when there's little left for an election to be held, or a special election that can be done 45 days after the Comelec is notified of the vacancy.
All right. Are you inclined, Kong, to take the post?
Yes, I accepted the post from the president 3 days after the elections. But I couldn't speak out publicly because for certain reasons, and I wanted the executive secretary to be out already in the open, so that little by little the cabinet can be known. So it's in reference to the primus inter pares, the cabinet secretary, that we wait for that to happen. And today, because it's the canvassing will be held tomorrow, and I am part of the National Canvassing Committee, I thought it wisest to disclose to all that I have been tapped to be part of the cabinet, so that any conflict of interest that may be questioned may be brought out in the open if there is a doubt. So it's a matter of transparency. That's why I had to relay the message to the public that I have accepted the job to be Secretary of Justice.
Right, thank you for sharing that with us, Congressman Remulla. Have you spoken to presumptive President Bongbong Marcos yet about this nomination personally? And was he able to set any priorities that he wants the DOJ to tackle?
The President and I have had conversations during the campaign about different problems of the country, among them the problem of justice. And the priority is really to be able to give a better quality of life to the Filipinos. And probably the other one, which has always been the problem for the past so many years, is the cry for justice. So it's a matter of streamlining the process and, of course, correcting many of the defective mechanisms that there are in the different bureaus and departments that are there under the umbrella of the Department of Justice.
All right, and have you spoken to outgoing Justice Secretary Menardo Guevara to go over this transition process to ensure smoothness?
My Chief of Staff is arranging for a briefing already from the department, of course, to Secretary Guevara. Hopefully by early next week, we can have the briefing done. And to learn more about the problems, because a very smooth turnover is necessary for the institutional continuity not to be disturbed, so that the work can go on untouched, untrammeled by any delays. And the deadline is always yesterday when it comes to the problems of justice, because for every day that somebody is unjustly detained, it's already a miscarriage of justice. So it's just one sample of the problem that we have to deal with, and there are more. We have to deal with organized crime syndicate, the fact that our country is the center of child pornography. There are many things we have to do about our country. And the president needs help. He asked me to help him. And it is an honor to be tapped by the president, to be part of the team that will, as he said to me, well, maybe I can tell you that the first words he told me when we first went around in the caravan was, if we pull this off, if we win, we cannot afford to fail. And that was always in my mind the first time he told me. But never did I have an idea that I would be tapped for the cabinet. I was surprised by his call 3 days after the elections that I was already in his list and that he was asking me to join him. And who can say no to the president? The president who was elected by a super majority of Filipinos. It's once in a lifetime opportunity for a lawyer like me to serve in a position as a Secretary of Justice.
Right, and as Justice Secretary, Congressman Remulla, you will, of course, sit as a part of the Anti-Terror Council. And, of course, there have been concerns about possible abuses of the anti-terror law. I'm sure you've heard about this. How do you plan to address this specifically?
Well, transparency. I think transparency is the best way to address it so that there will be no fake news given out, to be open to media scrutiny, to be open to public scrutiny. Sean, I haven't changed my number in 20 years. I've always been within reach of the people who want to talk to me. Hindi ako nagtatago kahit kanino pag may kailangan pag-usapang importante. Kailangan talaga upfront tayo sa trabaho natin dito.
Right, we appreciate that, Congressman Remulla. Now, the DOJ also has a current and ongoing probe into the Duterte administration's drug war. Is this something that you plan on pursuing once you are the Secretary of Justice, sir?
Definitely. If the work is turned over to me already, it will be part of the agenda we will have to follow, and we will have to look if there were abuses, a miscarriage of justice, if there were people who were wrongly convicted or people who were allowed to go free in spite of any apprehensions. It's like an audit of the whole thing. And hopefully, as they say, as I have repeated so many times today, in the movie, there's a movie where they say justice for all. And that's the aim of the leadership want to give to the Department of Justice.
All right, justice for all is definitely going to be your battle cry, Congressman Remulla, once you're the Secretary of Justice. Any other plans that you have for the DOJ as early as now, just to wrap things up?
I cannot delve into the details, but I've discussed some of them with. I've sounded off many of my good friends who are in the different departments, friends who went to school with me, who know how it works. I bounced off a few ideas, and they like the idea so far that may probably improve many of those agencies under the portfolio of the Department of Justice.
All right, looking forward to talk to you as officially the Secretary of Justice. Thank you so much for your time. Cavite Representative Bongbong Remulla over the phone. Thank you, sir.